It took years for Ark the Lad to be released in the West, and this is surprising since it was the top-selling Japanese PS1 game of 1995. This game sold over 1 million copies in Japan. That is huge! 7 years later, it was finally released in a trilogy as Ark the Lad Collection. This was my first Ark the Lad experience from this trilogy, and I must admit, it has some perks, but it is severely limited in terms of scope, particularly when compared to other powerhouse titles released around the same time, such as Final Fantasy Tactics. How it sold so many copies is beyond me. They must have had a killer marketing team. With that said, Ark the Lad is still full of that old school charm, and will keep you busy for a good 20 hours. The journey begins with Kukuru, who is a young girl from a sacred clan tasked to protect the ancient flame coin. The town mayor, however, sends her to extinguish this flame. In doing so, an Ark Ghoul is released. This Ark Ghoul isn't the source of the game's name. Of course, our main character is. Meet Ark. He's a lad alright. Ark is on a quest to investigate his father's disappearance. He stumbles across Kukuru, gets owned by the Ark Ghoul, hears the voice of the ancient guardian, then climbs a mountain to reignite the flame coin, which seals the monster away. This guardian then sends Ark away on a journey to retrieve the Ark, which will help him save the world. So many Arks! Where is Noah at a time like this? Both the story arcs and the character arcs are a little on the limited side. The linear plot offers very few surprises, and most of the characters have little depth, but this is understandable considering how short the game is. Many of these characters also appear again in the 2 sequels, thus expanding on the character arcs in Ark the Lad. Okay, that's enough of the Ark jokes. So, Ark the Lad was released shortly after the PlayStation 1. Most early games didn't take full advantage of the PlayStation's power, and Ark the Lad is a prime example of this. The character sprites look like they belong in the Super Nintendo era, but at least some of the environments are a little bit more detailed. These visuals were well behind the pack back then, but what do graphics matter? Some of the best RPGs ever were released on the Super NES. The world of Ark the Lad is split into various regions, each with dungeons, plains, towns, and other areas to visit. There are only a few places, however, that Ark can actually be controlled, which results in an inability to truly explore the world. In most cases, you select a town and you'll immediately enter a scene, select a dungeon and you're straight into battle. These battles are what you would expect from a strategy RPG, except that it's a system with very little depth. Your characters start in predefined positions and each turn they move, attack, use an ability or use an item. I really do like SRPGs, but this system did not offer anything that I haven't seen before. The difficulty in battle will be almost entirely dependent on your character's level. If you're finding it too difficult, you'll need to do a bit of grinding. I found the game to be an absolute breeze up until the final couple of fights where there is an incredible spike of difficulty. More consistency with the difficulty is definitely needed. Most SRPGs tend to have a huge focus on customizing your characters and preparing strategies for battle. Ark the Lad doesn't do this. Not even close. Each character can equip up to 4 accessories, most of which increase your stats. Yep, that is it. There's no equipment selection, stat distribution, or anything else you would expect. This is Ark the Lad's biggest weakness. At least every character plays differently. They all have some sort of purpose in battle, even if some are much more useful than others. Ark and Tosh were the powerhouse characters. They can destroy anything with their physical attacks. Other characters, such as Poco, plays its instruments in battle to aid the party. This is great! Each character is unique. However, most EXP is awarded for defeating enemies, and since there is a select few characters who can dish out decent damage, leveling up your support characters is an absolute bitch. There was even an in-game reference at one point where Poco was unhappy that he wouldn't be able to receive as much EXP. For a game of such limited scope, there are quite a few extra tasks that can be taken on. There's a couple of battle arena locations that have prizes on offer, one which requires 1,000 wins to obtain the best prize. This will probably take about 50 hours to do, which is absolutely ridiculous! Then there's the Forbidden Rooms, which is probably the highlight in terms of optional content. There are 50 floors in this dungeon, and it is a prime location to acquire accessories for your characters. If you want to take it on, you will need a lot of patience as there are no save points, and once you make it to the bottom, you have to backtrack all the way back to the top. Some call it pleasure, I call it pain! You know, I hate it when people call me cute, but cute is exactly what I would call Ark the Lad. 1 million copies sold? Still not quite sure how that one happened. Yeah, it has a nice old school feel to it, but nothing about this game really stands out. A more complicated customization system would truly go a long way, as it, as well as many other aspects, are just really simple. Still, I want to see what the rest of the trilogy has to offer, so Ark the Lad 2, here I come. This is Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, like, subscribe, and check out some of my other videos. See you next time.